Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the Ace and Ektar Heroes of the Storm casting podcast. I'm still Ektar, he's still Ace, and Ace, welcome back.
Hey, how's it going, Ektar? I'm doing pretty good.
It's a pretty good evening, and this is actually our second LuBu cast in a row, which I'm excited about, because that means we get to actually see a little bit of continuity with the teams that we're casting.
I agree, I'm reading the chat. It said to use an Xbox 360 GPU to keep your coffee warm. Is it 3/4 red coffee, then? We've had some fun times talking with the players in the lobby, because we're fairly familiar with a lot of these people. LuBu we've casted at least 3 times, and we know the ReGen people for quite a while. So, yeah, it's a fun little time we're having here.
Yeah, we did have readies from both teams come out, but in the time it took them to ask if the casters were ready, someone dropped out of the lobby. So, to be determined on that, but that gives us plenty of time to talk about how we got to all-track pass of all maps for map number 1. The coin toss was won by ReGen Ghost, and they chose first pick. LuBu banned out Dragonshire, and Braxis Holdout. ReGen Ghost banned out Infernal Shrines and Hanamura Temple. And LuBu are taking us to all-track pass for map number 1, which, if you missed the last episode, is one of the only 2 maps that they've won on this whole season. They've won 3 games on Infernal Shrines and 3 games on all-track pass, and considering map number 1's on all-track and Infernal Shrines is banned out, congratulations, ReGen Ghost, on your 2-1 victory.
That is it. Pack it up. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll go ahead and raid out. Let's find someone to raid.
Yeah, there's plenty of NGS casts going on right now because it is a Thursday, which is obviously NGS night. Everybody knows that.
Mm-hmm. Thursday night is for the NGS boys and everyone.
Do we still have a Thursday night showdown? Is that still a thing?
No, everything's been replaced with Storm Div because Storm Div reigns overall.
That's reasonable. Storm Div
is
really good, actually, and it draws in way more viewers than I was expecting when we were first talking about it. So if you're not watching Storm Div, definitely open up that multi-Twitch with twitch.tv/Nexus Gaming Series as well.
Yeah, VGM is currently against the other Koreans, and VGM's up 1-0.
Ooh.
So.
Yo, did you see that actually Team Alexander has the Afrika Freaks logo?
Yeah, they've had it for a while. I don't know if they're sponsored by Afrika Freaks, but I'm like, I like what you're throwing down.
I asked in NGS leadership and got the word from Wedge that they apparently do have actual permission to use that logo. I don't know what the affiliation is with Afrika, but they apparently have permission to use the logo, which is just awesome. Anyone that doesn't know, Afrika is a Korean broadcasting service that does a lot in the StarCraft community, and Ace and I are both big fans.
It may be a little subtle, but we like StarCraft around here.
Yeah.
Again, little subtle.
Getting into the draft here, Gazlo getting banned out, as well as Kael'thas. Kael'thas a big pickup for LuBu, so not a big surprise, and Gazlo, ever since his quote small unquote numbers change in the last patch, has just kind of been tearing through all levels of play. Like, he had something like a 12% increase in win rate. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a small numbers change, so thanks to Blizzard. Gonna go verify him. Don't have to scroll very far. Top of the leaderboard, 10.86 globally, sitting at a 60% win rate. That is
monstrous.
Pretty good. I mean, yeah.
Wow, this draft is going by fast. Orphea, Lucio getting picked up. I like Lucio on this map because there's a lot of wall strider on both points, and Orphea never really fell off. She got us an actually small numbers nerf, I think 2 patches ago, but she's still pretty good. A little bit less oppressive than she was, but she's definitely still one of those heroes where if you're good with her and the enemy team doesn't have an answer to her, she can kind of just dance around team fights and never die.
Yeah, that is very, very true. For the side of ReGen Ghost, Raynor, always a strong pickup on any map that requires any amount of mercenary camps to be picked up, so, like, every map in the game.
Also,
but especially,
if they decide not to go into Exterminator on 1, they've got Chromie and May to give infinite amounts of slow to proc Ace in the Hole.
True fact.
So that's a lot of potential extra teamfight damage as well.
Yeah, that is very, very true. So, yeah, lots of capability here for ReGen Ghost with the Rainer Chromie as the DPS so far. And for LuBu, we see the Muradin, which Alan Hicks has been spamming out a lot lately, and the Li Ming to make a double mage-ish composition.
It's a little bit interesting. Orphea doesn't play quite the same as the other mages, where they put out a lot of burst potential. If you consistently land those Qs, it's just good, consistent DPS. So as long as Orphea and Li Ming are both focusing on the same targets, I think they've got a really potent spell damage blow-up combo. Although Yrel does really well into both of those heroes.
Yeah, Yrel can be a real pain in the butt for the mage-like heroes, but hopefully Streakwing will be able to do something about that. And we've got the Ragnaros on Alterac Pass, Ektar. How are we feeling now?
I think for 109 seconds at a time, Ragnaros is an awful hero, and then for a couple of... then for the duration of one Lava Wave, he's ridiculously strong. Yeah, I hate Ragnaros. Lava Wave is too good, and it makes the rest of his kit suffer.
I'll drink to that. That seems accurate. That Ragnaros is slightly undertuned, but Lava Wave is insane, and there's only one way to balance it, and it's cooldown, because it one-shots all the minions.
Yeah.
So...
And everything else about that, it could do no damage to heroes, and it would be almost functionally identical. Like, there's some Twitch clips or core defense where you happen to get lucky hitting a couple heroes, but Lava Wave is so rarely what turns a team fight that you can't really adjust anything besides cooldown, like you were saying.
Yeah.
But we have spawning on the left-hand side in the blue trunks for the first time tonight, LuBu, a.k.a. the Lunch Bunch, with Alan Hicks playing the, I think, still banned out Murad and Muradin. Bandit is playing the Orphea, Streakwing playing Lucio, Suikoden is playing Li Ming, and Spoticus is playing Lil Rag. And
on the right side of the map, in the red trunks, we have ReGen Ghost, with our friend Mongoose playing May, Dub C on Chromie, Little Rock on Jim Raynor, Shui on Yrel, and Taco on Anduin.
So, before actually getting into the level 1s, I want to ask you, Ace, did you see that there's going to be a new Aliobs update soon?
That's pretty cool. Before we get into level 1, Ektar, I want to ask you, do you see that we're not running with scissors?
I did see that we were not running with scissors. I wasn't going to mention it quite yet, because hopefully Taco will live long enough to talk about it at a later point. But, yeah, there was a prototype build being run on Bahamut's stream where it's actually showing near where the heroics would be displayed the trinket cooldowns for all heroes. Ollie said they should be coming out with a full version in about a day or two.
Can I have the beta version? I like this. I like cool things. I'm the interface guy. There's a game occurring there. 4 people for LuBu down here in the bottom lane.
Ooh, good
as they go
Mongoose.
Yeah.
And
that's going
to be first blood. Just barely. Oh, Lucio getting the kill there with the wub auto attack.
Good call on the auto attacks, but it's going to cost him a little bit of soak in the mid lane.
Also, they have not started their camp yet, and ReGen Ghost are already on it.
Yep, but they will trade it out for a little bit of tower damage in the bottom lane, so, you know, back and forth the game goes.
Yeah, plus a couple of extra minions that were left there as well, so definitely slight advantage in favor of LuBu, although the later camp is definitely meaningful.
Yeah, especially not for this one, but because the camp spawns in 1.5 minutes and the objective pops at 3 minutes. Actually, it took Little Rock a while to pick that up compared to the 2 or 3 man was on the
and there's
for LuBu, so they're all going to be coming up.
Speaking of level 1 talents now for the first time, it is Ace in the Hole, like I mentioned, might be the case in draft, so not getting that siege clear, so definitely a lot slower taking that all by themselves. Looking at the rest of the talents, it is still Dauntless, I believe, on the Yrel. Yes, it is. And we have W build coming out from Chromie, which has definitely fallen off a little bit from the last patch. I think I just got a new subscriber, which is awesome, but I forgot to bring my phone, so I can't actually check it right now.
And finally, it's Sailor Twift.
Oh, thank you very much, Sailor Twift. I appreciate it a lot. And thank you for giving me one of my favorite Brightwing voice clips with that. Makes me so happy.
Which one is that?
You are a new friend. I love you.
Yes. What a good clip.
Yeah, Anduin picking up the Renew at level 1, which I had theorized might become more popular after the most recent patch, but I believe that Bold Strategy is still the winningest talent on the tier.
Yeah, I don't think it was quite enough for Anduin, but excuse me, a step in the right direction for him. So, yep, it is objective time, which means nobody's going to go to the objective because it's too easy to defend with Chromie with a time trap and an infinite amount of poke.
Nope,
there
it
are
is
camps
in fact
to be
camp
taken.
clock.
Yep, there are camps ready to be taken and soak to be had in the top lane. So,
yeah,
team's going to work towards level 7.
Yrel, actually not the world's worst double soaker. It's kind of a gigantic map to try and do it, but Shui is doing as well as one can reasonably expect. They haven't quite made up the difference that they lost in XP from that early kill onto Mongoose, but they're not actually falling any farther behind.
Yeah, LuBu, with about a half-level lead, goes ahead and picks up the level 7 talents, just a little bit ahead of ReGen Ghost, and we do see, given the Axe from Erden, as well as full orb build coming out here for Li Ming. Sometimes you see Triumvirate, especially just for creating a whole bunch of poke on this objective, and then see the standard kind of Battle Ming build, but the level 7 confirms we do have full orb build.
Full orb build, I think, might even just be an adaptation for the map in particular, because with Chromie in this top area, it's really hard to poke her out because she has such consistent damage to put into such a well-identified area, but Li Ming with orb build is one of the few that can actually just out-damage a Chromie over time in that kind of a fight.
Yeah, and after 16 has comparable range too, so we'll see how that changes. Now Alan Hicks in a little bit of trouble is able to Dwarf Toss on out of there. That cedes position over ReGen Ghost as they look to take spot around this objective, but it's still very tough to push into.
Yeah, it's really difficult, especially with Alan Hicks anchoring in that forward position. Chromie gets a nice time trap onto 2, is going to put a lot of damage into Streakwing and a little damage into Alan Hicks as well. Mongoose throwing the snowball at Alan Hicks, probably just to stop him from getting second wind. Shui into a bit of a rough spot, really good trinket usage, preventing the Stormbolt from stunning him out, and preventing maybe not a kill, but a lot of damage.
Yeah, that is very true. The Li Ming had the abilities ready, so yeah, I believe it had a reasonable chance to be a kill, and that's worth the trinket on its own. Shui now diving deep, again trying to harass the backline. Chromie's level 8 is online, so slowing Sands, the heroic of choice, is going to make a big difference in the zoning capability for ReGen Ghost in this fight.
We did have Ragnaros have to fall back because they got brought down very low, but that is going to give opportunity for ReGen Ghost to push in here aggressively and find that first kill out onto Orphea. Ragport should be available and might be enough to push them off at this point, but I don't think they can try to recontest 4 versus 5 otherwise, especially now with Suikoden going back. Looks like this is going to be first objective going over in favor of ReGen Ghost, but small consolation victory, LuBu picking up this camp.
Yep, that'll help defend mid with that armor-cutting camp, and they've got Ragfort to defend anywhere else, so they really can just split Rag from the team, keep the camp to work down mid, and then have the rest of the team soak out the last lane, or defend up the last lane, so doesn't seem like this objective should get too much, but we'll have to see if ReGen Ghost makes anything special happen.
Ooh, Alan Hicks taking about half of his hit points there and just kind of stepping up to get XP globes. Still looking to find something as he goes onto a bit of a wild flank here, but it is a 4 versus 3 in the bottom lane in favor of ReGen Ghost, so I really don't like Alan Hicks trying to find something, because what he's going to find is a quick port back to the Hall of Storms if he's not too careful.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten the level 10s until right then. He does pick up the Avatar. We also have Sound Barrier and Sulfurous Smash. Ektar, we have Smash here. That is...
What are you doing there, Spartacus?
That's 0% what I've expected. Like, if it was on a scale of parity ults from high five to like Li Ming's ults, it's much closer to high five.
It
and
is, and
Smash really surprises me.
There's not a ton of setup or follow-up for it, which is the part that confuses me. Like, it's a Stormbolt, and I believe that's Crushing Jaws. Yeah,
yes.
Which are not the easiest things to follow up on or to hit in the first place. And Sulfura Smash is also not the easiest ability to just kind of rip onto a hero, so there's not a great CC train for it to be involved in, and this map is gigantic. The Lava Wave gets so much value, so I don't like it, but I want to see what they do with it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Exactly. That's what you always want to see is the players use the weird ults that they take. Spartacus, though, going to find themselves in a little awkward spot, but Shui misses the Avenging Wrath and the hammer that I don't know the name of. And so Spartacus is able to escape with that. Does create a little bit of opening for ReGen Ghost to be able to rotate around the map and finish that Chroming quest.
Not gonna lie, I don't know most of your all's basic abilities. It's Avenging Wrath and the other two.
Vindication and Righteous Hammer.
You know, I would have actually guessed Hammer of Righteousness, but so it wouldn't have been terribly off. Ooh, we got a bit of a boss attempt coming out for the members of ReGen Ghost, which does not appear to have been identified in any way by LuBu. So this is going to be a boss for a Null camp, which at one point would have actually favored the Null camp, but ever since the numbers changed to the boss and the Null camp, I think it's a little bit in favor of boss, although it does give the opportunity for the members of LuBu to go on to the objective really fast.
Yeah, again, the lack of Exterminator from Raynor does make that call a little bit riskier, so you have to keep that in mind when you're taking those kind of sneaky bosses, but the camp is taken. Rather, the objective camp's taken by LuBu, the boss camp taken by ReGen Ghost, and that'll push down to the bottom lane. And if unanswered, is just going to go ahead and get that bottom fort.
Honestly, I think even if it's answered, it gets the bottom fort, and I don't think it gets the keep, so I think it's actually maybe really smart of LuBu to just stay in here and not do anything. Big beat drop hitting out just before the Light Bomb does. Alan Hicks have to pop Avatar to get on there. I don't think he has the Dwarf Toss available quite yet. It gets very low, down to 300 or so hit points. Does survive. Big Crushing Jaws heading out onto several, but Shui eats a lot of that damage, and health bars are slightly in favor of ReGen Ghost, but they pick their camp back up with 7.2 seconds remaining. Checking real quick on the boss. Yeah, it's going to get most of the wall, maybe the whole wall, but it will definitely not threaten keep.
Yep, that is true. It is focusing the gate up front, so yeah, the tower will definitely take it out in just a minute. So good evaluation there from LuBu to opt for the objective. They're going back in now. Blast Wave onto Alan Hicks. Try and get him into Little Rock's range. That is a great blizzard from Mongoose. Is going to section out Alan Hicks. Bandit now on the wrong end of that blizzard as well. Gets taken out. And ReGen Ghost looking to turn this into a whole bunch of kills.
Yeah, Spartacus might have to pop the ult. No, never mind. There is the amp it up to get everyone out of there. And it's 20 seconds until Orphea comes back, so that's enough time for them to come back and recontest with about 10 seconds or so by the time everyone actually gets there. And it looks like LuBu want to clear up bottom lane, maybe take camp during that interim time. I don't think they have time to do all of that, however.
No, they have to, if they're going to commit to a refight, and they might not, they need to do it very quickly. But it doesn't seem like they're making a whole lot of haste towards it. They are heading that direction now. But again, there's going to be like 5 seconds on this gate when they try and interrupt it. So
I don't think they're trying to interrupt it. They're just taking the camp again.
Yep.
And I don't actually recall, was Ragfort used during the first objective defense?
I didn't hear Behold Ragnaros, but it might not play for spectators if you're not looking at it. So not sure, but it's up now.
Yep, big play coming out from the members of ReGen Ghost to try and take this fort out immediately. A huge Sulfura Smash actually hitting out onto 2. A reverse amp coming in from Streakling to try and lock them down, but did get chunked and had to pop his own beat drop just to stay alive there. But they saved the fort, which is genuinely better than I thought was likely to happen at that point. So well done by them. They will have Ragfort available to make this. They won't save the fort, but it will likely stop the keep from taking any major damage.
That's if they opt for it. Spartacus is not actually going into Ragfort mode, and with the ReGen Ghost not opting to fight here, that's kind of a fort just given up for essentially nothing there. I think that fort should have been saved.
Maybe.
Maybe. I mean, maybe they get it here. Here comes Rag4 in. Shui's in the most compromised position. Snowball Cannon does remove 2 from the fight, so that is going to help out there. And I don't know if the fort's still live here, but it looks like, regardless, after Spartacus is down, yeah, they should be able to just push right in here unless there's a miracle defense made.
Yeah, they see 3 rotating into the bot lane to make sure they save that keep, which, honestly, you always trade a fort to save a keep in all situations, so not a huge surprise to see that there, but well done by ReGen Ghost to identify that they could stay and pick up the keep, as their 6 teams are getting picked up just now.
Yep, and they're going to go ahead and look at top boss, as LuBu has been insistent on taking the null camp, which is good, but it's left them a little bit blind to all the boss takes that ReGen Ghost is putting down. So
they could still make the rotation out of this, maybe. They're not going there, but I think if they tried, they could have made it in time.
Yeah, they are trying now, but I think it's just a little bit too late. Boss picked up now by ReGen Ghost, so LuBu going to have to make a retreat out of here and put the defense up here in the top lane if ReGen Ghost opts to push with it, which doesn't seem like it.
There's only 30 seconds left until the next boss is available, so they might just try to pick up this camp, clear their opponent's camp into mid, and rotate down and take another boss, which will put them at 3 bosses to 0 if that's the way things shake out. Their opponents do have 16, however, so they could just make the boss defense, let mid push for a little bit, and try to make a 5 versus 5 fight under boss. And they can see... They maybe saw Mongoose and Dub C16 there, but... Yeah, that was the right name. Yep. So they see their opponents picked up the null camp. Do they identify that they're on...
They can see sands. They can. I'm watching the vision of Spartacus, and they can see the slowing sands down
so
in the
know,
bush.
And they are definitely moving there. And they can make it in time, but it's going to be an awkward position to be fighting into, that's for sure. All ults available for both teams. Alan Hicks got to jump on point, but he gets snowball cannoned out. Really good snowball cannon from Mongoose there. Oh, and a huge deletion on the Li Ming. Really well set up by Taco. And Streakwing is trying to get his team on full-on retreat, and they do retreat successfully, losing only 1 hero, but again, 3 bosses to 0. And they're even going to have time to invade their opponent's mill camp, which is objectively like the hardest camp in the game to take.
Yeah, as far as opponents' camps to invade, this is the hardest one. It can be argued. So now they're going to take that and then either push into bottom and confirm the keep, or just start the objective. Looks like ReGen Ghost is going for the objective portion, and the boss may still be able to get the keep.
I'm just saying, you know what would really help in the defense a lot right now? Lava Wave down middle.
Or Rag4. Rag4 is up, and the keep goes down on the last hit of the boss, so again, another fort could have possibly been saved there.
Might opt to use it here, as this keep is still at half the points. Looks like they really want to save it for the defense during these objectives, but I mean, middle is saved at this point. Rag is going into the top lane, but I really think they need to try and make a 5-person defense, because trading out a third of uncontested objective is probably just going to break the back of LuBu.
Yeah, it's going to be in those really tough positions. Alan Hicks goes ahead and Dwarf tosses in, but he's going to get CC down a little bit. Nice medallion to dodge the light bomb. Is on top of Taco, causing a lot of problems, while Urel's in the backline causing problems for LuBu. Alan Hicks has finally got the damage through and does get the kill onto Jim Raynor. Suikoden very low, but does evade the Wrath of Shui, and that is a kill in favor of LuBu, but the objective pops for ReGen Ghost.
If they can get this kill out onto Shui, and it seems really likely that they can try to make some aggressive defenses in the top and the mid lane so they don't lose another keep. They're actually looking for more kills into this. That is going to be a kill into Taco, so well done by the members of LuBu. Getting aggressive really late in the game, but finding success with it.
Oof, that Sandblast, or Dragon's Breath, was scary. Chromie chunking out a glass cannon Li Ming in a major way there, and that could have been a counter kill, but nonetheless, good save by the Lucio. Now the objective pushes down all 3 lanes. Murden with the sledgehammer on level 4, though, absolutely burns down the middle objective. Nothing needed there. Spartacus fighting it in the top lane, and the core can clear out bottom lane, so this could be very minimal damage taken by LuBu.
Still opting not to use Rag4 to save damage on the keep, though, so both mid and top are like below about a quarter hit points each. So it is a stabilizable position for LuBu, but it is a tenuous one for sure.
Yeah, they've got to find a level 20 team fight and turn this around. Get an objective, get a fort before the objective comes in, grab a keep, and all the rest of the forts with the objective. Like, it's a multi-step process to the road to recovery right now for LuBu.
Yep, and step 1 is don't get caught below level 20, which it should be very easy to do because it'll be like right now. Alright, both teams picking up their level 20. We have the, what is that, Cryo Freeze? Flash Freeze. I should know that from the StarCraft 2 level. From Li Ming, we have Piercing Sands. Germinator is going into...
Execute.
Seraphim? Seraphim, that is, what, 25% unstoppable uptime on Uriel, which is nuts.
Yep.
And Varian's Legacy coming out from Anduin. We do have a boss coming out right now, very quick for the members of ReGen Ghost, but LuBu have identified it, and they're actually in a position to take a slow fight over boss, but it looks like they're just baiting it, which is pretty nice because of how aggressive they've been on these bosses all game. Alan Hicks does find it, but he gets interrupted.
Good barrier from Streakwing does keep Alan Hicks alive with the Avatar. Now Sulfura Smash comes in, kills out the Chromie and the Jim Raynor, and all of a sudden this Bush party has become a Bush disaster for ReGen Ghost, and this is exactly what I was talking about, Ektar. Flash Freeze procs for the Mei, but I don't think she gets out of here. Shui gonna get run down by the Lucio and friends. Mongoose is gonna make it out, but that is 4 kills for LuBu. They can take a boss, they can take an objective, they can do whatever they want for the next 40 seconds or so.
That is the most impressive Sulfura Smash I've seen this calendar year, Ace.
That is a factual statement.
To be fair, I've seen about 4. Two or three of them have been in this game. But
fair enough.
Undeniably, that won that team fight.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Making us believers here, Spartacus, so nice work there.
I wouldn't go that far.
A believer in Spartacus's.
There you go. I'll give you that. I'm not a believer in Sulfura Smash, but I am a believer in Spartacus, as he rotates down to make sure that they're not taking too much pressure in the bottom lane. Little unnecessary because one lane will never actually threaten to end all by itself, but it is still picking up a little bit of XP, which, you know, it's not amazing, but scaling is always nice. 4.5% is 4.5%.
Yep, 4%. Unless it's one of those weird scaling abilities.
Ah, yeah, you're right. It's, what, Pyroblast is 4.5%?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch. I tried to ask Cav about it. There was a spreadsheet about it long ago. I'd like to see Rag actually be able to take position on the fort up top with the Lone Core. Never mind, it's down for a couple seconds. Fight is coming out onto Alan Hicks, and the defensive cooldowns are just now coming up. Barrier used as well. Avatars used to be able to re-engage, but Alan Hicks is taking a bunch of damage. Spartacus dueling Chromie in the back, but the timeout is going to keep her alive and buy enough space for her to get away. Alan Hicks is down in the back line to Shui and Little Rock, and Spartacus trying to escape, but it's going to be a tough one against the Uriel.
It's going to be very tough indeed. We do have the Sulfura Smash comes out. Doesn't actually get the stun out on anyone, but they do actually get the objective, which they lost one, so they can't push too hard, but they are going to get some damage into the top lane, and they're going to get a little bit of time to breathe on the map, which it's not what you want out of an objective, but you'll take it at this phase in the game, honestly.
The alternative is death, so yeah, I'll take whatever I can get.
Yeah, and they probably still get this mid-fort because the members of ReGen Ghost are all in the top lane, making sure that doesn't threaten to keep even a little bit. So they'll actually only be down 2 buildings at this point, which, you know, it's better than the 4 buildings they were down before.
That is true. I want to point out that we kind of have made the double reset comp you have at home here with Orpheus level 20 Engulfing Oblivion, which resets the Jaws cooldown when an enemy is taken down, and Li Ming, obviously, Critical Mass allows any of that to happen, so
there's some sharking happening right now.
Yeah, there is. There's some positioning happening, and LuBu is on a bad side of it.
Mongoose does not get the Light Bomb delivery quite fast enough. Streakwing is trying to deliver everyone out of here with the amp it up for speed, but now Shui is kind of cut from everyone.
Yeah, I need split view here. Spartacus gonna try and death rattle out and stall for the team. However, Shui at the same time almost
snowball cannon.
Wow.
Sukadin turn left. Sukadin turn left. Spartacus is going to go down the Submerge, not enough to save him. Shui pops the Unstoppable again to try and get out, and is able to. I think the members of LuBu just kind of need to leave, be happy with the force that they got. They're now only behind one building. Just gotta not let Little Rock get the speed boost, the movement speed, and the slow stacking as well.
Yep, but amp it up is a real good way to get people out of town. That is the best part of Lucio.
It is
Maybe
definitely
barrier.
a good part about Lucio. Speaking of Lucio, he did go into the house party on 20, not the Bossa Nova, so they are more able to heal over the long term, but less able to stop some of the burst combos that have been coming out from the members of ReGen. And for the first time this game, LuBu are starting a boss, and their opponents are doing a null camp.
That is the definition of irony here. And Alan Hicks going to be the main boss burn damage with the sledgehammer. 30 stacks on Perfect Storm as well. Look at that boss get chunked. However, ReGen Ghost is right here, but the boss is low. And it's picked up by LuBu.
If you're a LuBu fan, you'll love to see it. If you're a ReGen fan, and I know y'all are out there, it's a little bit unfortunate timing.
Yep, it was very close. Ling did have the repulsion on level 20 as well, so everybody on the button would just go flying. So, maybe not a contestable point easily, but now this is giving LuBu
really impressive 4 versus 5
Yeah.
right now.
They sure are.
I'd love to see them now just back up and start channeling on the point, honestly.
Yep, Shui is hidden right now. They don't see... LuBu does not see them, and they're going to go ahead and back out, so that's, no, exactly what you said. Just a little delayed, because now ReGen Ghost can just take a clean fight, 5v5 here.
Yep.
And that's what we'll see here.
Shui is looking for another behind engage, and is going to find it onto Alan and to Streakwing. The beat drop comes down, saving Alan Hicks from a lot of damage. We have the Crushing Jaws coming out. Dub C is very low, but actually it's Anduin the first to go out. Snowball Cannon push Suikoden out, but it's still very much in favor of LuBu as they pick up that second kill onto Jim Raynor. Streakwing popping that amp it up, but not opting to go into speed to chase down the URL, but someone's probably going to have to go back. If not to deal with mid, definitely to deal with top, because that keep will go down to that big of a minion wave.
Yeah, for sure. Ragnar is going to be able to deal with all that. That is a absolutely ginormous amount of minions. The Reaver camps, or the Reaver catapults, do such an incredible job.
And it's gone.
Yeah, Ragnar, they do such a good job of making those ranged minions stack up, though, because they tank instead of siege.
I'd like to see him clear maybe just that one wave and don't clear mid again. I'd like to see them try to push in as much as they can in the bottom lane, guarantee the keep, but more importantly, try to find a pick. There's still several seconds until the rest of the members of ReGen Ghost are available. Big damage going in. Gleaming gets killed by literally 2 abilities, and one of them doesn't even deal damage.
Yeah, that is exactly what happened. I have the death recap pulled up. Overkilled by 30, so shout out to Maze Blizzard and the Snowblind for doing just enough damage there. And now it's a 4v5 for LuBu as they're still committing hard to trying to get this keep. Mongoose goes ahead, pops the ice block, and does get the light bomb as well. Beat drop, not enough to save Alan Hicks, and now this is retreat time for LuBu, but they do get that bottom keep, and the cavalry still pushing every other lane.
Yeah, they're actually going to get top keep as well. Man, those guys deal a ton of damage at 26 minutes into the game. They only barely don't get mid as well, so I don't know what ReGen can do right now. They need to clear this guy out immediately, and it looks like they're going to go for top boss, and I think that's the smartest thing they can do right now. Unless they can get Spartacus, then that's the smartest thing they can do right now.
They're going to get Spartacus. This is a 5v1, and they're enclosing on all sides. Medallion use Spartacus. Going for the Death Rattle Unchromie, but timeout prevents that. Submerge is making us watch a fight of invulnerable stasis heroes, but that does create an opening here for ReGen Ghost to try and do something.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see what that something is. Suikoden was working on this camp, and it's going to be stolen over. Do you think they're just going to try and end up one hero with a null camp? I think it's definitely possible, but it's a little greedy.
It's tough. Because they've lost the last couple team fights, I'd be nervous here if I was ReGen Ghost. I maybe try and position well in the top lane and get Chromie to siege down the building.
Okay, they were just
Or
stealing that
take
so
a
their
boss.
opponents couldn't have it and then going for top boss.
Okay, works. All valid plays here, as that top boss will definitely secure the top keep and be a major threat to the core, because with 3 keeps down, everything's in danger.
Shui just showing off that he can go unstoppable every 10 seconds for 2 seconds as that boss stun comes down. Mongoose does not have the same luxury. I don't want LuBu to fight this. LuBu are trying to fight this. They get a decent crushing jaws. Alan Hicks did get his jump interrupted, and Dubsy16 gets brought down almost immediately by Suikoden in the back. And while they're not going to steal the boss away, they just straight up get a kill 4 versus 5 under their opponent's boss, and that is by far the best that could have turned out for them.
I mean, the best could have been an all-man, an entire
you know what I
team
mean.
wipe, but
Yeah,
as far
that is
as
a greater than
realistic-
80 percentile outcome for them, in my opinion.
Yeah, that is the peak of success, but yeah, a little bit of return kill with Chromie getting the 3 Sandblast kill onto or a 3 Dragon's Breath kill onto Leeming. Leeming goes ahead, gets a gigantic orb and does like half Chromie's health. So, you know, long range mage for long range mage.
Yeah, unfortunately for ReGen, it's happening during an objective. Although someone's probably going to have to deal with mid. There is a little bit of boss left. Not much, but I believe with 3 lanes pushing in, they do actually end the game. Eventually.
Yep. Yeah, and this objective cannot be sped up by being more ahead. So, ReGen Ghost gonna go ahead and grab this bottom boss, and LuBu is none the wiser to this. And that's gonna mean that there is a whole bunch of decisions that have to be made that could change how this post-objective phase goes. If it even gets there, as ReGen Ghost may be able to recontest this.
4 people on defense, Rag, or 4 people on objective defense and Rag on core defense. That's my opinion. It is not what we're going to see here, however, as Rag is clearing the top lane, and everyone but Alan Hicks is already backed out, and Alan is going to have to leave as well. I hope that wasn't jump interrupted. It wasn't.
Nope, it wasn't. And he has Rewind available. So that does create an opportunity. But, man, this is a lose-lose situation here for LuBu. They've got only 20 seconds left to defend their objective, but they've also got a 2/3 health boss pushing down an unarmored core. And I just don't see how they do this. I don't see them both winning a fight here and letting the boss push. Or not letting the
Neither
boss push.
do I. I'm worried for LuBu that just letting the objective almost completely without support will end the game at this point. Boss will not end here because the 4 or 5 person defense, but they already used Rag Fort, and the lanes are pretty pushed out in favor of ReGen Ghost, so it's going to be a very aggressive team fight that allows LuBu to stay in this game, and getting stunned up by Light Bomb is not the way to start.
Nope, Beat Drop does come out from Streakwing. Alan Hicks still takes 3 trillion damage, but does survive with just a little bit of health left, and now it's just up to ReGen Ghost not to lose everybody immediately. There's no Rag Fort available. There's no, there's nothing stopping this push into the core with 3 cavalry that do, let's see, 1,400 damage a shot to structures.
Oh my god. Alan Hicks going in for an engagement onto Litterock, not able to find enough damage, and Litterock's going to find the damage back into him. The root coming out onto Alan is going to see him getting very low, but he is able to dwarf toss on out of there. Leeming is the first to fall. Rag actually getting the kill out onto Anduin. The Submerge is going to keep him alive, but the 4 million damage coming out from the cavalry there is going to secure game number 1 in favor of ReGen Ghost. That was a really good first game. It was very back and forth.
Yeah, is that... Now, you said LuBu's only 1 on this map.
And Infernal Shrines. That is correct.
And Infernal Shrines. Have they ever lost on this map?
They have.
Okay.
Both Infernal Shrines and Ultrac Pass had 2 wins out of 3 games.
Okay. So, yeah, strong showing, though, from ReGen Ghost. They took an early lead, had a little struggles as they approached the late game, but their lead was just a bit too insurmountable, and all they needed is one more good fight, and they did a great job just controlling the map, taking bosses even when down players, because LuBu had so much cleanup to do around the map. So,
yeah, I think Alan and the rest of the Lunch Bunch were definitely picking up steam in the later portions of that game, but they were just a little bit too far behind, and ReGen Ghosts were able to outmaneuver them with the just the power of having more buildings still up.
yeah, I have to agree with that, and
I'd like to point out the Reddit Lucio Streakwing, 0 deaths, the only person with 0 deaths in the game.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah,
Also,
it's
just huge numbers coming out from a lot of people in that game. 155,000 healing.
that's a house party effect right there.
107,000 hero damage coming out from that Liming, beating Jim Raynor by about 12k.
Yep, and 300k siege damage from Ragnaros. Imagine, though, that was Lava Wave. You could have literally integer-breaking amounts.
Yeah, definitely could have hit the overflow value at that point in that game.
Yep. So we do have Game 2 picked up. It looks like LuBu has opted for map pick, and they're going to Cursed Hollow.
Yeah.
Oh no, they have updated the first draft team. Is definitely the pick of ReGen Ghost.
Okay.
Got it.
Boop.
Just
I was gonna say that's interesting because LuBu have never chosen to play on this map before.
Yeah.
ReGen Ghost have. They have opted to play on it once. I don't believe they have won on this map, however.
Well,
one of these two teams is about to win on a map they haven't won on yet this season.
Well, Cursed Hollows, as far as map style, is closest to Alterac Pass.
That is true.
So, with the way ReGen Ghost rotated around the map, and took the bosses at smart times, and controlled space very well, I think they'll be in good shape for this.
Yeah. We didn't mention it before. Someone was having connection issues at the start of the previous game for ReGen Ghost, and Taco has stepped in to be their rostered substitute player for this series, and I think played pretty well in the previous game.
Yep, didn't run with scissors, unfortunately, so a scolding will be given at some point.
Yep.
But other than that, yeah, I mean, the light bomb combos, there was coordination involved, which sometimes you might see as a little bit of an issue if there are players that don't play as much. So, yeah, it seemed to be pretty solid overall, and yeah, well done.
Okay, looks like we're just waiting on the ready from LuBu, as we do have the ready already from ReGen Ghost. I'm going to pull up the stats of the storm because I know something about ReGen Ghost. I just don't know who has done it.
Well, sure.
Okay. That...
Okay.
Was that a substitute player? What team are you on? Now I need to look up some other things. I do see that the game is starting, but that's okay.
Oh, I'll go ahead and cover the draft while you investigate this major development.
Mm-hmm.
Knock over my hydration. We do see Johanna banned out again by LuBu.
So I found it, and
Okay.
did confirm that ReGen Ghost do have a player in question named Dormant God.
Yes.
Who is not in this series, but has played TLV twice this season, and I had identified that ReGen Ghost played it. I didn't stop to check who their player was in my original scouting, because it's a pretty good map for TLV if you've got someone capable of playing them, but ReGen Ghost do not have their Vikings player in, so it seems incredibly unlikely that it'll get picked up here, and that's always a disappointment here on the channel.
Very true. If there's like the true loves of Ektar as far as Heroes of the Storm are considered. It's Brightwing, Carbot Zergling Portrait, and the Lost Vikings. I'm pretty sure in that order.
Yeah, also Lucio when we're in Storm League and we have people in a stack and they don't.
And being on Tomb of the Spider Queen.
I don't really care the map. All the maps have walls. And that is all that I need to enjoy playing Lucio.
Can't wait for the empty void map.
Oh my god. Rip all the Lucio and Diablo players, am I right?
For sure. Tassadar, first picked up here on Cursed Hollow by LuBu. Response is Greymane and Anduin again by Taco. So
I love the Greymane pickup on this map because it has a fair number of camps and it's so far spread apart, just like actually on Alterac, where you need normally a traditional solo laner and someone else to soak another lane because it's just too big to double soak on effectively. And Greymane fits that someone else to soak a lane pretty decently, and then you just rotate someone up and he goes and takes all the camps for you. Aw, respect band for the Lucio. I think that was well-deserved from Streakwing.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Streakwing had a good Lucio where the combos were very important, or rather, the barriers were very important for disrupting the combos of ReGen Ghost. So I wonder if they're going into some kind of blow-up combo comp that Lucio would be important to deny.
There's also one other important thing about Lucio that makes him an incredible pick, and that is the age-old adage of don't chase gets completely thrown out the window because you can just make your whole team move faster than their whole team. So if you win a team fight, you can really snowball a team fight with Lucio because you just chase everyone else down. And we saw that several times actually, where Lucio would like even chase down Urel, which is one of the best heroes in the game at just getting away from people, but no one gets away from a determined Lucio. Unless they have buildings.
Or they're Malthael and can Pale Horse away.
Oh yeah, if you get mounted, sure, but...
Yeah.
Sonya getting picked up here by Shui, and that's a really frontline team comp coming up from the side of ReGen Ghost. Ooh, Rhaegar and Alarak. That is, actually, plus the Tassadar, that's a scary comp.
That's a lot of damage. I am a little bit worried about their PV. They've got no dedicated soul laners.
That's true. Alarak is above average, but he's not a bruiser.
No, for sure. Raynor can also cover a lane, but can't... I guess you can pressure certain soul laners, like Sonya. But Raynor's going to be on camp detail, starting at the 1 minute mark precisely.
I wonder if they actually go into auto-attack build for Tassadar and have Jim Raynor on the 1 minute camp detail. I've seen it being run a little bit more popular, with a little bit more popularity since the most recent Shockwave nerf.
Yeah, that is true. But I don't know. I haven't been following the Tassadar builds too much lately. All I know, Task Beams go burr.
Task Beams do in fact go burr, and they go burr for Suikoden in game number 2 here for LuBu. Streakwing is playing the Rhaegar, Spoticus on the Alarak. Alan Hicks playing the Muradin once again, and Bandit, everyone's bestest boy, is playing Jim Raynor.
And on the right side of the map, in the red trunks, we do have ReGen Ghost again. Taco reprising the role on Anduin. Dub C going to the Mephisto here. Littlerock on Greymane Mongoose. I'm going to call it a signature ETC. And Shui on Sonya.
So we hadn't mentioned it in the draft, but Mephisto is one of those heroes that it feels very binary. He either wins games for your entire team or he's completely ineffectual. And after seeing the way Dub C16 was able to put out damage in the previous game, I'm concerned, as a fan of LuBu, that it is going to be the former.
Yeah, Mephisto really, really powerful because he just kind of evades a whole bunch of nonsense. Alarak can pull the return point of Mephisto. Tassadar can obviously put a shock ray onto the return point, which is the build opted into. And yeah, other than that, though, there's not a whole lot of punishes. All Also of note on the level 1s, Gem Raider going into Ace in the Hole again.
Yep, and we do have a Q build coming out from the Tassadar as mentioned. So neither of the PvE thoughts that we had are going to come into fruition, which again puts a big question mark onto the general PvE from the members of LuBu. We do have Streakwing, Suikoden, and Alan Hicks all making the rotation into the very quick Bruiser camp. You'll love to see it. And their opponents are taking the Siege camp with just the solo Greymane, but it's a Greymane. He doesn't need help.
No, he really doesn't. Greymane very good at, just taking camps quickly. We do have the overwhelming power as well for the Alarak, which gives him a little more soul lane capability at the cost of not being as useful in team fights, because telekinesis is by far his best ability.
Alan Hicks doing a really good job of actually zoning zoning Dub C16 away from the XP globes. He actually missed 2 of them just because Alan was positioned so aggressively. Mongoose getting a solo kill in the bot lane with maybe the power of that siege camp based on where his body fell.
Well, the death recap knows many things, and we're going to go hit that death recap. Basic attack, bunch of basic attacks. Looks like, yeah, he just got slid booped directly into the middle of a minion wave, and then the cannons did 500 damage, so yeah, just caught out a little bit too far and knocked right into the cannon line, so nice solo kill there by Mongoose.
On the signature ETC. Spottic is taking quite a bit of damage as Little Rock came in to try to make an engagement happen. Taco's there as well, but just there to drop off a heal onto Shui, padding those healing numbers as Shui was backing, but does opt to stay in the top lane, maybe to try and pressure Spotticus again, as the objective is spawning in the bottom lane.
It took Suikoden like 30 seconds to pick up that camp. Tassadar just doesn't take camps that well.
Especially if you have to keep moving and you lose out on that auto attack DPS from the disruption beam, and going into the electric fence, meaning he's not going to have that plasma shield. So look to see him actually go into black hole at level 10. That's my guess.
Is that like the metas? If you go electric fence, you go black hole for easier setups or something? Is that what I'm seeing here? As Mongoose gets slide onto Alan Hicks, the chastise from Taco connects and forces out the Gladiator's medallion from Alan Hicks, and just barely dodges the skull missile from Dub C. So nice save there, but yeah.
A lot of damage also going into Alarak and Tassadar on the top lane from the Little Rock Shui combo. Spottic is coming in, Sans tap, finding a nice slide actually, Mongoose onto Murden, and is going to get hit with the Chastise, and just a little bit too much damage coming out from the members of ReGen Ghost. Bandit might be able to get out of there, but that is going to be first objective going over in favor of ReGen Ghost. Oh, he did get that kill coming out from Little Rock. Really well done. Although Suikoden into the top lane, just kind of putting some damage in, trying to recoup what they lost in that team fight.
Yeah, Suikoden's been here the entire time, actually, and I'm really surprised that LuBu decided to commit as hard as they did. Greymane's going to walk behind the Suikoden and just get a free kill. Doesn't throw the cocktail first and doesn't try and get the disengage. Do a cocktail? No.
Guesses which wrong on the direction he was going to go into.
Good guess towards well, though.
My hypothesis for Black Hole is that a big part of the reason that Plasma Shield is valuable is when you have Archon, it gives you full Disruption Beam that whole time, so you get that 3% shielding, or whatever it is after the most recent nerf, every second. So not only does it give you a big ol' shield when you pop it, but it keeps giving you that shield every second. So if you don't go into that Plasma Shield, my guess is that they're not going to go into Archon as well. I could be totally wrong in that, but that's the guess.
Makes sense. Makes sense, as second objective is spawning here up in the top, and ReGen Ghost is going to go ahead and tactically capture the siege camp in the bottom lane. Did I say siege camp in the top lane? Objective in the top. I was thinking one thought ahead. Objective in the top lane is going to get interrupted by Mongoose and Dub C. They've got a lot of time to do that. Shui going in on a flank in the back. Bandit going to go ahead and get a nice penetrate around, but Alan Hicks is in a very awkward spot and is down to sub 1,000 hit points, and yeah, ReGen Ghost looking to try and finish off any of these kills. However, Shui first to go down in this fight, and the space being created by the penetrate around of Bandit is really working in LuBu's favor right now.
Yeah, really good wall coming out as well, making sure to steal that Mephisto in. The Shade's going to keep him alive for just a couple of seconds, but that second kill is going to secure this objective in favor of LuBu, although there was a siege camp pushing the bottom lane the whole time, so a lot of good counter damage coming out for ReGen Ghost.
Yeah, PvE advantage will always exist here for ReGen Ghost. There's just not a good enough comp/talent choices here to compensate for that for LuBu at really any point in this game, so they're going to constantly have to rotate people down quickly to be able to defend structures.
Spartacus doing the smart thing and getting the telekinesis to get those siege giants in range. Telekinesis kill, that's actually a pretty funny little animation there. The one saving grace that they have is actually Rhaegar. Rhaegar takes camps exceedingly well for a healer.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely the fastest camp takes for a healer that exists. So that does give him a little bit of recompense, but not a lot.
Oh my gosh, we've got a deadly charge.
Ooh, wow. Yeah, looking at the ults, we have Avatar, Deadly Charge, Archon, and Bloodlust. So Bloodlust, Deadly Charge. Just we're going in kind of combination here. Shui trying to find a cheeky pick onto Suikoden, but ends up needing the Leap of Faith from Anduin to get out with about 500 hit points. So that's good awareness there by Taco to make that one work.
On the other side, we do have Mosh Pit, Curse Bullet, Endurance of Hate, Light Bomb, and the Leap coming out from Sonya. Looking to get into this back line. Suikoden is showing and is going to get leapt upon, and Archon does get popped here. The Bloodlust as well, the big stun is actually going to prevent a lot of that lifesteal from the Bloodlust. Alan Hicks gets very low and is going to get killed. Task gets killed as well. Littlerock is the first counter kill, but Anduin goes down as well, so it's a 3 versus 3. But there is still a healer for the side of LuBu. Spartacus goes down, but he takes 2 with him, and they're going to get a 3rd with the power of the multiple slows. And I think they could take boss, honestly. They're gonna take the. They're gonna take the. Oh, you're right. No exterminator. Never mind. They're gonna go for it anyway.
Everybody coming back though.
And Muradin does have those Q talents on 1 and 4, so he gets that extra siege damage. That was supposed to be a 10-man wipe. You guys failed us. LuBu
How dare they
try-harding just a little bit too much for their ghostly opponents.
Yeah, I think a big part of why it wasn't a 10-man wipe is the overwhelming power on 1 from Alaric. I said it detracts away from his teamfight power because telekinesis is so strong, but it does give him self-sustain outside of his E cooldown, and Alaric stayed alive with the tiniest bit of health for such a long time.
It also has like bonkers synergy with Bloodlust.
16. Oh yeah, that is true. Is this like super auto attack? Like you've got Archon, you've got Alaric, and you've got Jim Raynor. Is this just like the ultimate auto attack comp that you don't see coming?
I think it might
be.
Wild. And they are going to succeed on the boss-to-boss play. Greymane is clearing this. Will not save the fort, or will not save the well, rather. Is going to have to rotate very slowly into the top lane, and they still have to respond to top boss, so this is just going to be free curse going over in favor of LuBu. So I'd actually like to see him pushing with this boss now that they've basically got the objective for free.
Yeah, I'd like to see him run up ahead and try and cut off ReGen Ghost from their wall there, because that was their most...
Surfer. I did not see that talent. I didn't note that talent before, but it did objectively just save Mongoose. Yeah,
that sure did. It's a good pickup on this map. I think this and BOE are the most viable maps for Crowd Surfer, but nonetheless, it isn't going to help them save this top keep, which will certainly be going down. Shui gets the Whirlwind plus the Light Bomb combo. Durance goes ahead and whiffs onto Suikoden, and now Leap comes back out as Bandit takes a bunch of damage. Mongoose is going in with the Mosh Pit, does have the Encore available to lower the cooldown, but the health bars on ReGen Ghost are very low. And this boss not going to break shields on Core, but I mean, to show you where they're at, it almost broke shields on Core 10 minutes in.
Encore definitely booped Spartacus out of that mosh.
Yeah.
Objectively.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I wasn't certain, but I wanted to say he had it, just in case it could transition to a point. So nice eyes there, Ektar.
Yeah.
So big deal.
as great as that is, and getting a keep off the first objective genuinely is great with all the bosses that they've taken, ReGen Ghost are not that far behind. They're behind one net building.
One net building, correct, and that is the PvE potential here for ReGen Ghost compared to LuBu's. You see, like, the whole team rotating to these camps. And the levels, half a level at most, lead here for LuBu. So, yeah, it's definitely still, like, recoverable here.
It's actually
for ReGen Ghost.
It's actually a really big deal that ReGen didn't lose the bottom fort. Because then they'd have catapults in all the lanes, so they'd have to actually really dedicate a hero every now and then again to just defending the lane from PvE, which they've got the heroes to do, but you don't want to have to split heroes out into all three lanes too often.
Yep, that is an important part there, is being able to ball up as a team, especially as the game progresses.
Yep, they see that Sonya's in the top lane, so until she goes missing on the minimap, this is just free real estate for the members of LuBu.
Yep, and they're very close to level 16. Alarak going to get a big power spike here with turning his sadism into auto-attack damage, or so I assume, judging by everything else that's been taken. I can't imagine anything else occurring. And I think I like the rallying cry here from Jim, giving everybody else additional attack and move speed as well, because it actually generates a bunch of team-wide value.
Yeah, so I like this team comp, and I don't think that ReGen Ghost at any point sniffed out what was happening during draft, otherwise they probably would have had a blind or two.
To be fair, I didn't either, and we have...
And you're an Alarak player.
Yeah, we don't have to pick all this out, but this is a cool team comp here from LuBu, and even though we always root for Game 3, I'm definitely even more rooting for Game 3, because I like the composition, and so therefore I'm implying caster bias.
Yep, definite caster bias. We love ourselves at Game 3, but we also like an unexpected combination of abilities that just works. Mongoose is going to check it with Slide very aggressively as the Electric Fence comes out. Ooh, the Light Bomb and Leap combo is going to find a very fast kill out on task before he can even pop his heroic. Linrock is not going to get taken out. Barely 100 hit points to spare, but the Bloodlust is going to let them try to chase down Shui, and the Deadly Charge is going to find the kill. 1-for-1, and the objective is already being channeled by Jim Raynor, and there is the Pulse Silence combo out onto Anduin as well. Mongoose trying to get out, and Crowd Surf once again keeping him into a really nice position. But there's a boss available, and there's much shorter death timers on the side of LuBu, so they're going to clear out mid, they're going to clear bottom of the siege camp, and I think they're going to try and rip boss again. This is feeling like the opposite of last game.
It really is. And Ektar, I love the Alarak build I go, but man, sometimes I just really like watching other Alarak plays. And their Chaos Reigns, the Discord Strike quest was finished when everybody funneled in through the choke point at top. So he gets an extra 220 flat damage, then multiplied by the sadism, which created a 1200 damage Discord Strike that hit Anduin for near lethal damage. That is a lot of damage.
Yeah, I hadn't been following Anduin because I didn't expect him to die, frankly. And then he did. So the boss gets picked up in the bottom lane. Boss is also going to get picked up in the top lane. Very well done by ReGen Ghost to make sure they don't lose a boss-to-boss again. The objective is spawning in the bottom lane, and let's see how the teams decide to respond. Both teams currently responding, going to defend their bosses, but that definitely favors ReGen Ghost as their boss is in the lane with the objective.
Preferred RNG in favor of ReGen Ghost there. I think it's... What is it? This is the 5th objective? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a 6, so it's... there's a guaranteed spawn there, but still the RNG leading up to it did favor ReGen Ghost there, so they'll be able to pick up a second tribute and clear out the boss at the same time. So,
however, they lost a fort and LuBu did not.
That is true. That is true, and that's that fort you said that was pretty instrumental to keeping them in a good spot in this game. And looking at the minions in the bottom lane, it is going to push in LuBu's favor for quite a while. So,
a little bit unlucky for LuBu that this first lane does not have a catapult. This one back here is. But that catapult will be in lane during the objective, and it's going to start pressuring down in the bot lane. So if that fight goes long, look to see some damage into keep wall.
Yeah, that is very true here. Mongoose going to go ahead and take a forward bush position, which allows Alan Hicks to yeet a Q in there and finish that Stormbolt quest up, giving him battle momentum on or cooldown reduction. I always call it battle momentum because that's what the OG generic talent was on that Stormbolt ability. So getting your stun more often, very good.
Yep. We do have another Leap Light Bomb combo hitting out onto 2, and this time Mongoose is going to try and follow it up, but does get interrupted. A huge Discord Strike is going to secure a very fast kill out onto ETC. Suikoden putting the electric fence down means that WC16 cannot get out. Neither can Sonya, who had used her engagement to get in. Spartacus does have the telekinesis to pull Ando him back, and it is going to be Streakwing, it looks like, finding that kill out on there, as Taco is going to go down. Only Greymane left, and we already have the first GG coming out from Mongoose, and that was... It felt really one-sided. It didn't initially, but God, as Elrac got stacked, man, that game just really went in favor of LuBu.
Yo, if we had like instant replay, which I had in Season 3 and not in Season 10 because we're great at this, God, the Leap Light Bomb was really good.
It was.
And then ETC slid right in to follow up with Mosh. And
I
Alaric
didn't see what interrupted him.
Oh, it was Alaric. He telekinesis. So Alaric was positioned just to the north of that, pulled them both and just stabbed them violently with Discord Strike.
It was the telekinesis that stopped the slide?
It was right at the end of the slide. I don't know if he was trying to channel Mosh, but he essentially just slid right into where Sonya was going to be, and then just got absolutely obliterated by the Discord Strike. That it did like legitimately probably close to 1,400 damage. It was insane. That game was saved hardcore by Spartacus. That is a different player than what we saw in Game 1 on Ragnaros. There seemed to be so much more familiarity and so much more playmaking potential. I like to see it.
Yep. And we don't much like to see Ragnaros, especially when they don't go Lava Wave.
That's a level 62 Alarak. #1 hero on the profile. Fair enough. Fair enough, Spartacus.
Oh no.
Fair enough.
When I go to Whisper Mongoose, I have 2 Mongai.
I've had that issue before in a major way. There's already a lobby up, though.
I see that now. I just don't know who picked it.
It was picked by the team that won, because that's exactly what is expected.
Sure is.
Because they opted for first pick to start, it makes sense that they'll opt for first pick again, and that means that LuBu is opting to take us to Battlefield of Eternity. Oh, that game made me feel good, Ektar. That game made me feel real good. Like
that game felt like a different team.
That was such a cool composition.
It's a cool.
And I was very worried.
So was I.
I was giving them I'm writing them off in draft. I'm giving them 30% win chance. They didn't draft any not good PV. They didn't even go with Exterminator. You gotta go with Exterminator. But then they just smashed through every fight. I was like, wow. That was something.
And you know the weird thing, ReGen Ghost didn't look like a different team. A lot of times when you have a game won by one team and a game 2 won by another team, it looks like one of the teams does better and one of the other teams does worse. I can't say for sure that I felt like ReGen Ghost played worse on that map.
No, I thought the light
very similarly. They had great combos. They had really good macro pressure. They got more camps than their opponent at times where they both had 5 heroes alive. It's just LuBu got so many kills that they were just up in heroes and were able to take really good advantage of the kills that they got.
Yeah, very true, very true. Shout out to all the people chilling in chat right now.
Ooh, speaking of, I need to go grab my cell phone so I can
at least
see all the people that are going to be in chat.
I'll talk to the people in chat. So Ektar hasn't seen you. Broadcaster can't see you spam anything. But yo, what up to Harnock? Arrow, of course, supporting the ReGen folks. That name is ridiculous. Vela Revia. Got it. That's Velaravia. And of course, Sailor Twift there. Pointing out that 5 minus 3 is in fact 1. As we mentioned. So
Someone making fun of my caster math?
You said they were up a single building, and it was 5-3.
I'm pretty sure I said they were up net 2 buildings.
We can check the VODs, but they were making fun of you, and I believe the people that didn't say it.
Yeah,
because
that's
so
fair.
easy to speak. So, I mean, I said there's a siege camp on the top as they were taking the siege camp. That was objectively in the bottom. Just because I got a thought ahead. So, Kel'Thas ban, I would like to see an Alarak ban because Alarak tore them apart last game. Put the respect pants on and just give him the Alarak ban. Because he's good on this map too. I think Alarak's good on this map.
And there is the respect ban that you requested.
Clap. Clap. Nice.
Oh,
nice
hi,
job there.
Mark.
Yeah.
I do have my phone now, so I can see Twitch chat, because I've been doing this for a while now.
It's got 2
I
R's.
said net 1 building. I believe you. I just... in my brain, I was saying 2, and I thought that I did, but...
Yeah.
Math on stream is hard. And speaking on stream, even more difficult. It's a wonder that we managed to do it for an hour and a half, honestly.
That is the biggest amount of facts. FPS Nate, you don't get a shout out. You don't deserve one. Jeez.
Nate, Harlock was the first person that I saw in chat because I just got my phone. First pick Jim Raynor, and if it's not an Exterminator game, I'm actually going to pull 3 individual hairs out.
1 for each game played. But especially on this map. You don't need the team fight damage. I know we've memed it, Ektar.
We've memed it because it's happened in Storm League, and then we didn't have enough immortal damage.
Yeah, we won all the team fights, and Ace in the Hole did not make the difference, and we couldn't race. It was incredible. Flaming and Burden picked up, and those are just 2 good picks for LuBu.
Yep. Alan Hicks really seems to favor that hero, and you know what? Q stonks on this map gives you pretty good race in a tank.
Oh gosh.
Orphea and Mei, not particularly good racing heroes, even for their respective roles. Like Orphea only does good DPS when she can get Q resets, which is hard to do on non-heroic targets, and Mei she does no damage whatsoever. Actually getting the Anduin ban, stopping Taco from playing his at least for this series, signature hero.
I'm sorry. Arrow in chat, you have 3 hairs to pull out? Lucky.
Arrow, you saw me outside of BlizzCon. I have so much hair.
Donation fund.
It literally goes down to between my shoulder blades at this point, and if you want some, I've been looking for an excuse to get rid of it, and I can provide you a pretty lovely wig if you wanted one. We have also the Artanis ban. Not that Artanis has been impactful in this series, but he's incredibly good on this map, and LuBu have a history of playing him.
This is
LuBu
an
are just going all race comp, and it's not too dissimilar, actually, from their previous one.
No, Vala's a little scary to play into Jim Raynor, in my opinion, and that's personally why I don't like her on this map, against Jim Raynor specifically.
Yeah, Jim Raynor just kind of pokes Vala out.
Outranged, yeah. I mean, one misstep on Vala, and Jim Raynor should be going auto W auto, and maybe even a Q, and that's like half your health instantly for being 1 range out of position.
Yeah, plus you have to walk into range to even start putting damage into Jimmy. Plus he's got an E button, which just lets him out-sustain the crap out of you.
Yep, so that's why I don't like Vala into Jim, but you can obviously make it work when Rhaegar has, Bloodlust, and you just jump on top of him, and Jim Raynor has to go full panic mode. Man, DPS heavy for LuBu. Both the last 2 games as they pick up Zeratul. Finish up that. It's his 2nd most played here.
I'm calling it now. Spartacus isn't actually an offlaner. He's actually just a melee assassin player, and LuBu doesn't have a dedicated solo laner. So they put Spartacus on there because it's the closest, most similar role.
That's, you know what? That might be accurate. When is the Kira pickup, by the way?
That explains the somewhat uncomfortable seemingness on Ragnaros in game number 1, and the not picking up of a solo laner in games 2 and 3.
Yeah. I'm with you, Ektar. I'm down to believe this theory. And you know what? We'll go with it. Zeratul again. Second most played hero behind Alarak, so I guess I'm just waiting for something amazing.
Yeah, we're hoping to see something amazing in this entire game, as we have spawning on the left-hand side in the blue trunks for the third time tonight. The Lunch Bunch with Alan Hicks for the third time tonight, playing the Muradin, no longer Muradin, however, must have been listening to the stream. Spartacus is playing the Zeratul this game. Streakwing once again on Rhaegar. Suikoden playing Li Ming, and Bandit is playing Vala.
And on the right side of the map, in the red trunks, it is ReGen Ghosts for the third time, with Shui splitting out on Leoric. Dub C playing the Orphea. Little Rock taking Exterminator on Jim Raynor. Thank you very much. Mongoose on May, and Taco going to Deckard Cain.
Yep. As we are wont to do, we're going to look at level 1 talents. We have the auto attack talent on level 1 from Vala, but that is just a generally chosen talent. It doesn't necessarily indicate anything. We have the start of the cleave build coming out from Zeratul, not going into the single target delete build, which I think could actually be pretty good against the team count that we see fielded here for LuBu, or sorry, for ReGen Ghost.
I like the cleave build gives you a little bit more combo potential because you go into Void Prison, but you also have a little bit more offlane potential because you can deal more damage to minions with the greater radius cleave, and more importantly, the rending cleave at level 4 that gives you the 33% increased damage in the form of DOT. So, yeah.
I was watching a Not Paradox video, 4 mistakes you may be making on May, the other day, and he said that the heavy pack talent on level 1 single-handedly brings May's win percentage down by about 6%.
Wow. Here's profile. Verify this data for me.
Just really does not compare to the other two, but we do see it getting picked up here in this game.
Yep. Let's, you know what? Item man fact checking, because I'm a man who believes in numbers and the pursuit of science.
Yes.
And globally, that is true. Currently, let's filter Diamond Master as you go ahead.
If you're a man that enjoys the scientific reasoning, definitely don't watch the presidential debates.
Didn't. That's why we're here. This is much better. And
big facts.
Confirmed. It brings her win rate down more than 6% Diamond Master last 2 patches.
Yep. So, looking to see Mongoose get some pretty good value out of that increased Snowblind, which, if you're not hitting volley, you're just straight up wasting that talent.
Yeah. What if I filter to BOE? Even worse. Control W tab. Ooh. Don't want to look at that again.
Yeah, we do have the Gems build coming out from Deckard Cain, which has risen in popularity ever since the nerf to Ruby. Although you do still see him go into Ruby, there you go, on 4, but pairing it with the Sapphire as well to get those more consistent roots. Shui going to take a little bit of damage as the members of LuBu rotate on up, but not a terrible amount. Neither team starting their bruisers very fast, though. Actually, never mind. ReGen had already taken theirs. LuBu are taking the top camp instead, which should favor ReGen Ghost in the long run.
Yeah, LuBu actually capped theirs a bit too soon.
Oh, yeah, huh.
And it's already been taken out. Spartacus finds himself in a fun spot and is able to just get some free damage and then leave, but yeah, ReGen Ghost, with the better camp timings here, is going to be able to push that top lane fairly well. Burn happening on both sides, but it is, in fact, working out a lot better for LuBu. They've got 3 burn on the top lane, on the top Immortal, and create a halftime already.
I frankly don't think that ReGen should be trying to race. They just don't have the same kind of race. They can put Litterock on race and have 4 people trying to defend. I think that's a great call. Big, actually, root coming out and hitting, and the stun not hitting, but the root follow-on root is going to find that kill on that Alan Hicks. Shui is trying to get out of there, pops the medallion to do so, but Spartacus is going to find him in the back, doesn't get the kill, however. Zeratul, a scary hero, but becomes a lot scarier with talents. Kind of like Paladin in that regard. Yeah,
Zeratul base is not a scary hero. really limited, especially before level 7 when he doesn't have a clean engage other than Blink. So, yeah, really not a hero that comes online early and unable to finish any of these kills. 4-man defense, as you mentioned there, coming in for ReGen Ghost, Mongoose gets very low, but does pop the Ice Block to stay alive. 5-man offense from LuBu is trying to get the Immortal down in time, but the current advantage is in ReGen Ghost, as Littlerock just stabbing the Immortal to death. All of ReGen Ghost going to go all in on the Immortal, and they do pick it up with 274 health remaining, and a free Zeratul to go with the ride.
Yeah, really well done. Almost not picking that up based on the Immortal spin there.
Whew.
Which, that would have been a real feels bad, man, if just that was what caused them not to pick it up.
Yeah, that, small... Battlefield of Eternity, I think, is one of the maps that turns small play differences into large differences in the game. Whether it comes down to just managing your damage properly on the Immortal or small positioning things and, just stuff like that. I think it's one of the tougher maps due to that.
Speaking of managing your damage properly, a lot of damage actually being taken by Bandit and Alan Hicks, and that is going to cause an almost no-shield Immortal to entirely pick up the first fort, so really well done for the members of ReGen Ghost to just chunk damage into that backline from a safe distance.
Yeah, that Immortal against a race comp, the advantages of a race comp are not only do you punish mistakes better because you get Immortals more often, but you take less damage when you do lose Immortals because you've got such strong race. But because of the damage ReGen Ghost put out, they couldn't actually safely get that Immortal, so...
Big bush party coming out here.
Yeah, they see it, so it is kind of just a 4v4 fight, no crazy positions taken, but... gleaming damage strong.
Yeah, we do have Zeratul rotating more quickly down here, and that is probably going to find a pickup. They do get a kill out onto Deckard Cain and Mongoose. Alan Hicks is trying to make some positioning happen, and he does find it. Cannot unstoppable a body block, and that is 3 uncontested kills going over in favor of LuBu, which was initiated by a bush party from ReGen Ghost.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a forced bush party. They're like, we see the team in the bush, let's go, which is admittedly my first reaction every time I'm in a bush. But definitely a little bit of forced engagement. Suikoden took a great position and has, again, orb build to be able to punish at range.
I mean, it makes sense. You get to start pressing buttons before your opponents. You get to start auto-attacking before them, so it makes sense to engage out of a bush, but it's definitely not a huge advantage.
That is true. Vala opting in for the repeating arrow in level 7, which is a talent that I never see without the first 2 Q talents.
Yeah.
So, a little bit of an interesting pickup. Usually you see the Death Dealer at this point to create the extra damage on auto attacks after flipping. But, nope, it still can be valuable for this map for extra race burst.
Yep, they do have the level 10s getting picked up. We've got the Might of the Nerazim, Bloodlust, Disintegrate, huge damage actually going into Shui, and that is going to be a very fast blow-up. And a nice Ming set, Avatar and Rain of Vengeance as well. Littlerock is going to get caught by the Rain of Vengeance, and that's going to be their cue to pop the Bloodlust. Littlerock does get some kills out. Spartacus is going to go in with the Seeker in the Dark and finds that kill onto Jim Raynor.
Yep. ReGen Ghost stuck around a little bit too long with the level 10 talents up for LuBu. Entomb into everything, going out on the Vala, and that is a very dead Vala. My goodness, that was Entomb with Jaws with Root. There is no way that Vala is leaving. That's a nice counter kill for ReGen Ghost, but unfortunately, Immortals are in offensive positions, so it could become... Ooh, rip story. Could just become a game of poking here for LuBu, as they could take the objective without another fight.
I do want to point out, it is not Jaws, it is Feast. That was the chomp, chomp, chomp coming out there, securing the kill out to the Ming.
I meant to say Feast, but absolutely, I probably said Jaws.
You did.
Because, damn.
It's usually Jaws, honestly. Bandit is going to stay in there to try and finish this out, and Spartacus will finish it out for them. Bandit is actually going to get away from that.
What?
That feels like a misstep coming out from ReGen more than anything, because that Vala there was just dead to rights.
Yeah, that was a one-way
and not hitting anyone, but does prevent them from following up the damage onto Shui. ReGen Ghost getting the very small victory of picking up the ReGen globes, but that is a very healthy Immortal with a big old shield pushing into the top lane.
Yeah, and again, the team with the less race gets punished by objectives more, and only Littlerock is here for the defense. Nice Blizzard from Mei is able to create some space and prevent too much more follow-up CC. Littlerock standing in front of that fort just makes me tough spot, as Murden does have the Pierce.
Yeah, so you can actually hit him behind the fort.
Yeah, it's a dangerous spot here. Now with the fort coming down, it looks like ReGen Ghost wants to take a fight here. Taka with the stay a while and listen into the Eternal Feast combo. I'll get that right. Streakwing gonna get taken out as well with the Gem Rainer auto attack, and that's 2 kills over for ReGen Ghost, and that'll definitely signal the end of the offense here from LuBu.
How many heroes is a fort worth? Is the answer 3? Because the answer here was 3.
I don't think it was worth 3, Ektar. At 2, I was ready to talk some points, and then it became not worth that. That got me.
Big damage coming into Mongoose. The Rain of Vengeance is going to seal some extra damage as well. Suikoden putting the Disintegrate in there. Bandit taking a lot of damage, actually, and with the power of Super Pots, it's like that engagement on a Mongoose never even happened.
Yeah, Deckard can put out some serious heal throughput if given the proper time and setup. It's more conditional, but it is more powerful when the condition goes out. Bloodlust comes out, but the huge Entomb into the Eternal Feast grabs 2. A little bit of an ill-advised 4v5 here from LuBu is going to turn this heavily against them as they lose 2 members. And, ooh, ReGen Ghost looking solid in the team fight, as their comp would suggest with the Leo Orphea combo, but only going to be able to even up the fort differential here.
Lag F. Is the stream lagging, Sinner Twift?
I am not seeing anything, and I've actually had your stream playing the whole time.
Alright.
So I think that is just some Canadian internet.
I'm really actually enjoying Spoticus's play. I think that this camp is incredibly risky, and I no longer like Spoticus's play. But right up until that moment, just being out and soaking the other lanes has been doing a really good job of just keeping LuBu in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, Immortal's going to race positions again, and look at the burn differential, Ektar. Both teams were on that from the start, and that is a near 4,000 point difference for the 2 Immortals. That's roughly, caster math, roughly 15% difference.
Yeah, but now we're in defensive positions for the first time, maybe this whole game, but definitely in a long time. And even this, I think, has to give a little bit of advantage to LuBu because they have that Li Ming, and she's got such incredible poke, and it's hard for ReGen, in theory, to push in and deal with that, although with Shui getting these huge entombs all game, maybe not as hard as it should be.
Yep. Also in their favor is a huge amount of mercenaries in the bottom lane, so LuBu needs to play this slow, even retreat to their own Immortal a little bit, just to let that bottom lane push down. There's a siege camp and a catapult and a bruiser camp going down there, so really heavy pressure there.
Missing the entomb, so not going to be able to get that combo. We do have the counter-engaged Bloodlust, but it gets immediately slept and snowball cannoned out. Alan Hicks makes it out alive with barely 200 hit points, but that's a lot of R buttons pressed with not a lot of value found in the bottom lane. Checking it real quick, only getting a little bit of damage into the wall there, but it looks like health bars mostly are lower for the members of LuBu, especially on the Zeratul.
Yep, but they are going to go ahead and drop the Hearth, and with the defensive positions, LuBu's going to be able to recontest this before there's too much burn done. Nice Sapphire there from Deckard prevents any kind of thoughts of engagement here for LuBu, as bottom lane was cleaned up by Shui, but again, the poke damage from the Murden and the Li Ming is whittling down this Immortal now to sub 5,000 health. Mongoose goes in on Suikoden, but doesn't find anything as the teleport was there.
Yeah, lots of... another Entomb comes out, does go on a Murden, who's able to jump on another. Bandit actually gets kind of low and is going to get caught by that Blizzard that do sidestep the stun. Dub C16 is very low, but Vala is the engaged target, but they're still not quite finding it. Suikoden getting a lot of damage off of the Disintegrate, and Orphea is the first to fall, deleted in the back by Suikoden. 16s are, however, picked up for the members of ReGen, so they might be able to try and take this fight down one.
It is possible. Spartacus is going to go ahead, use some cooldowns on that Immortal, and actually put himself into a pretty compromising position, but that the player advantage for LuBu does let them push in, take the Immortal, and now it's a half-shield Immortal going into bottom lane, which is already down a tower. So again, another good push opportunity here for LuBu.
It's been a while since I've whinged about anybody's talent, so I'm going to go ahead and do it here. Streak Wing. Really don't think you want the Earth Shield here. You, because you're playing so far back and so pokey, you don't need the shield. And the extra healing that you can get from the Chain Heal cooldown reduction talent on the same tier will give you a lot more throughput and help you deal with a lot of the poke that you're taking in these weird fights.
Yeah, true facts there. The math supports it. As the Immortal pushes into the bottom lane, they're getting chunked down pretty well by Little Rock, and Tomb and Feast combo coming up. The Stay a While gets interrupted, which has kind of been the initiating. Shui sharking forward, trying to find a little spooky walk up to make anything happen, but does have to retreat as Spartacus is in pursuit. Snowball Cannon does zone out. Shui still low, but does get the Super Pot to stay alive. The bottom keep goes down to an orb from Li Ming, and that's exactly what LuBu wants, and they're just going to try and get the heck out of here now.
Yeah, members of ReGen Ghost have had a plan all game, and when the plan has worked, they've gotten kills, and they've taken advantages, and when it hasn't, they've kind of fallen apart in a lot of these team fights. And that plan has almost exclusively been Entomb on someone that can't get out of Entomb into the Crushing Jaws. Or the Eternal Feast. Yep, I did it this time.
We got him. Bring down the banners and say we got him. But you're absolutely right. They have a combo engage comp, and past that, they haven't had a lot going for them. Zeratul able to shark around very effectively. Spartacus playing it well to just hunt low health enemies that are getting poked out by Li Ming. So this whole comp is working well for LuBu. They are down in kills because the combo has been working for ReGen Ghost, but it's just not working a high enough percentage of the time right now. If they can make it work a couple times in a row, though, they could easily bring this whole thing back.
So that's a really big... This was a trap. They were trying to bait the members of LuBu to come in and steal their camp while they were up in momentum, but 5 super pots and a bush gank was going to spell death for that LuBu not falling for the trap. Instead, just taking their own side of the map and opting to go through another Immortal phase, even though it is once again defensive positions to start.
Yep. Watch us Murden hammer. You ready? You want to see some damage here? Boom. 13-10 damage onto that Immortal. Boom. And then you just retreat right out of it. ReGen Ghost going to go ahead, opt to clean up the bottom lane, and that's basically it for this first phase. For the defensive positions, it's done. The race from LuBu is too strong. And
so, if you're on ReGen, you're just praying for not race positions, and their prayers have been answered. It is one of the neutral positions, which is going to give them a little bit of time. Their opponents have to actually back and clear their own top lane, which will give them time to start their own race.
Yep, that is a situation here. It was actually, I think, the favored neutral position because it spawned right under where ReGen Ghost was. So they can take very defensive spots. And now LuBu going to go ahead and just play some more race. I mean, ReGen Ghost wanted to make it happen, but they couldn't. Bandit trapped inside the Entomb, but Dub C, preoccupied with Spartacus in the back, could not get the Eternal Feast where it needed to be. Bandit going to live with just a little bit of health thanks to the siphoning arrow as well. Spartacus being a headache in the back, but does get spun on by the Immortal. Does get taken out by the chomp from Orphea, but 2 members are already down for ReGen Ghost. Suikoden firing over the wall and getting 4 kills in that total, and LuBu is in a fantastic spot.
They did have Jim Raynor split out the whole time, so it's not a very healthy shielded Immortal. But that 5 versus 4, even under the blue Immortal, is going to go in favor of LuBu and into the top lane with only Jim Raynor to defend for almost 30 whole seconds. So this is a very scary but theoretically defensible position for ReGen.
It's defensible, but only on core, for
Yeah,
sure.
no, the keep is falling 100%.
Yep, level 20's picked up. We do have the Rancor for the Vala, so heavy
Very aggressive talent.
out. Yeah, as opposed to the
Farflight Quiver.
Farflight Quiver. We do have Twilight Falls for Zeratul as well, so lots of area cleave damage is able to come down, and then double rewind here for Rhaegar and Muradin.
Yeah, and Bandit already using that Rancor to start putting damage into the keep. Shui comes back up and just immediately starts taking tons of damage from the Rancor, or the Manticore damage. But he's going to be the first to fall. This Feast comes out hitting several times, and Bandit's actually going to be taken out by the Gem Rainer. And Rhaegar fell as well, not getting enough healing off of the Bloodlust. Core's going to take about 50%. Actually, Spartacus is still on there. It's down to 40%. He is going to try and blink on out of there, and he's got all the free reign in the world to do that because the bottom keep is already down. And you can't catch a Twilight Falls Zeratul, Mongoose. What are you doing?
No, Twilight Falls Zeratul has 3 blinks. ERE, you're like a screen away. That's pretty good. Mongoose now actually in a bunch of trouble. Unless he pops Ice Block, which he does in time. I don't believe that was Flash Freeze.
It was not.
No. Zeratul at 20 can just wipe people off the map with Twilight Falls. Like, nobody is safe, but nice job there by Shui dropping the Silence and Tomb. Now at the Buried Alive is going to be able to catch the Muradin, which has been a particularly evasive target, Dwarf tossing out of Entombs a bunch. So that combo is now more reliable and more potent than before. So maybe that's the turning point here for ReGen Ghost, but they're going to have to be very hyper-aware of a backdoor at any point. And, of course, not to lose on lane pressure or an Immortal.
Yeah, it's really everything coming up Millhouse right now for the members of LuBu. They can just sit back and do nothing. They can just defend. They can run through top or bottom. There's a lot of correct decisions. They just have to, not make one of the incorrect decisions here. One of the things I want to point out as potentially game-changing is respect the elderly. That talent by itself can really turn a lot of these team fights.
Yeah, I think it needs to go. Yeah. I think it needs to go from an engage ability with Stay a While to a press R on the Zeratul. If they can shut down Spartacus, I think they're in a lot better shape. Because their backliners don't have to worry about that nagging pressure the entire time. But because of the lane pressure that LuBu has created, it's already halftime to the Immortals, and ReGen Ghost has to be perfect from here, and Little Rock not in a perfect spot.
He is going to get engaged upon in a big way and gets taken out almost exclusively by Spartacus. We do have the Respect the Elderly heading out onto several, and the Silence is going to keep Murden there for a long time, but the Bloodlust comes out, he's keeping him nice and topped off, and that is the second kill going into Orphan. Shui is going to get taken out as well. Mongoose not going to escape as Spartacus just sticks on him like glue. Taco the only one left to tell the tale, and as the last of the Haradrim, who's he even telling?
True facts, and that is the end of the game. I'll tell you, ReGen Ghost, most opposite fantasy GG timing in all of NGS, but that is the full 2-1 set going over in favor of LuBu.
And now I can no longer keep the stat that they've only won on 2 maps, because they just won on a different map, so it was in fact a 2-1 like predicted, but not in the way that I had suggested.
Yeah, that is actually the exact opposite result of what you expected. Where ReGen Ghost wins 2-1 but loses on Alterac. Instead, they lost 1-2 and won on Alterac. So, interesting.
Checking out the post-game screen, that is a relatively enormous amount of damage coming out from Suikoden.
That is a lot of damage and no deaths.
More than 30k over the closest hero on the opponent's team on the Orphea. It's orb build, man. If you get hit by orbs continuously, it's going to add up to huge damage. But even Vala putting in a very respectable amount of damage.
Yeah, the Vala build is question mark for me because it's like this hybrid Q auto attack build on top of Rancor Manticore, which albeit is the highest DPS you can put out in auto attack Vil, along with the attack speed bonus from Creed to the Hunter on 4. It's just like, huh. But it worked out for him, so happy to see it. But ReGen Ghost really good performance overall. These teams really put up a nice set, and I'm really glad we got to cast this one tonight, Ektar.
Yeah, it was stated by DB Smiley as one of the matches of the week to watch out for, and he did not disappoint.
That is very true, and this is an important match because it is for that 8 seed. So with a 2-1 victory, LuBu going to go up to 8 points now into 7th place. ReGen Ghost going to get a point, but stay in 9th. So they're going to have to find some wins down the road to be able to try and sneak into the playoffs.
All right, so we're going to get Alan Hicks on here for an interview. Let's go ahead and hop into a public lobby because he's not a caster. He cannot join us in the casting bunker.
Oh, we picked the same one.
Yep, I do twos, man. I don't know what it is. I just like lobbies 2 instead of lobbies number 1. Hey, congratulations, Alan, on your 2-1 victory.
Thank you. It feels really good to finally get another one.
Yeah,
That's such a feel sometimes.
It'd been a bit of a dry spell for y'all in the last couple of matches.
And like the last 4, yeah, I think we got dominated the last 4 matches.
Yep, that is Deckard, Scalding, Death and Delay, and Die Gaming.
Yeah.
All in a row. That's a tough one, but I'm glad to see you guys came away with the win here. And yeah, well done.
Thank you. It's been a long road to get back to the winner's circle. That's for sure. We haven't even been winning in like quick match or Storm League or anything for like a month. Things have just been really off for us. But today we won, 4 games counting those 2. So, maybe it's back to victory road.
I mean, there's definitely something to be said for momentum. When you start winning, you tend to keep winning.
And when you start losing, you tend to keep losing.
Yeah.
True.
I have seen friends of mine go from platinum to masters over the course of 1 season and then back to platinum in the follow-on season.
Yeah, if we were playing Storm League, we would have gone from plat to silver by now. I mean, literally.
Yeah.
One guy hasn't won a game in like a month on his match history. But it's just things haven't been coming together, and we haven't been playing as much lately, and other things been involved in, and life stuff, general stuff.
Yeah.
But we changed up a few things. We changed up how we were gonna play tank. I went on Mirrodin every game tonight instead of a more aggressive tank like Diablo or ETC. And that seemed to work well. It seemed like our backline was more comfortable with that. Spotty up there in the solo lane went with some non-traditional solo laners that he just really enjoyed playing, and that certainly seemed to work out for us, having that extra damage as opposed to a traditional bruiser.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of questions directed exactly in that way, because game number 1, Spoticus on the Ragnaros, not to call him out too hard, but he did not seem particularly comfortable on the Ragnaros. And when was the decision made to go into Sulfurous Smash and not into the Lava Wave on that map in particular?
I have no idea. We didn't even discuss it. We're just right now. It's been a rough month. So what we're focused on right now is just playing to have fun, rather than necessarily what might be the very best talent to take here, or what might be the very best comp to have. We're wanting to play and have fun.
I will say Sulfurous Smash is more fun to land that big middle hit stun onto heroes than it is just to passively collect a ton of XP and push lanes out. But
it's such a
good ult.
Yeah. But Sulfurous Smash has that visceral thrill, that even the sounds and stuff it makes, the meteor falling, shoot, boom, it's just fun.
I don't know if Ragnaros actually says the Hearthstone die insect. I know he says die. I don't know if he says insect, but it's definitely got that
he does say die
visceral
insect.
Feel of just willing someone into death. And there was a fight on the top boss where genuinely, Spartacus willed 2 people to die with Sulfurous Smash, and it kind of almost turned the whole game around for y'all.
Yeah.
Spartacus
game
in
one
chat
was-
is Spartacus is in chat, by the way, and he does say more team fight capabilities. To be honest, was the thought. So, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, he's the one who made that call. We trust him to play the solo lane and get his work done. And so if that's the way he wanted to go, that's fine with us. Especially if he wanted to have more fun with it. And I think we showed throughout the night that we were winning the team fights more or less. I mean, even in game 1, which we lost, we had like 13 to 11 kills in our favor. They were just sort of beating us on stalling out objectives, on having better push, etc. We were able to make some adjustments in the follow. In games 2 and 3, we didn't really get behind on XP much at all. I think we had advantages in one of those games on XP and kept the lane, especially in that last game on BOE. We definitely kept the lanes pushed much better, so that went in our favor.
Yeah, in map number 1, you kind of didn't draft any siege damage.
Yeah,
like Murden's got those chunky Stormbolt hits, but that doesn't.
But it's
clear
on
a lane.
one
It's one,
thing,
maybe 2
yeah.
targets. Rag is decent, but without the lava wave is only just decent. Orphea, some in the late game
Orphea's
with
okay.
Chomp, but none of those take a camp well.
Yeah,
And yeah, you did do well in the team fights, but man, did you just get hammered with the macro pressure on that map.
yeah.
And then so map number 2, you opted for first hero pick. That is correct.
Yes, that's correct.
And
they chose Cursed Hollow.
tell us about that team comp.
Oh,
Well-
yes.
We know they've had most of their success with their tank as Johanna, so we wanted to ban that out every game. And the damage dealer they played the most this season has been Tassadar, so we figured we have a guy who plays Tassadar. Let's first pick that away so we can get rid of their favored tank and their favored damage and pick the favored damage over to us, right? So that was basically the strategy going into it. And then, towards the late game, or towards late in the draft, we didn't know what Spotty was necessarily going to play. Was he going to grab a Falstad to have a little bit more global pressure, or what? But he said, we've got Rhaegar. I'm going to grab Alarak. I'm going to go an AA build. We're going to take Archon on Tassadar, and we're going to bloodlust the hell out of these people. And that's what we did, and it murdered.
It sure did. Like, Tassadar and Rhaegar has been a comp since the TAS rework.
Yeah.
Raynor is a great addition to throw in there. Both Ace and I were blindsided by the auto attack build Alarak, however.
It lives
And I'm an
forever
Alarak
is the
player,
thing.
so I'm even an Alarak player. I was like, okay, can take the talent at 1 to help make himself a better soul laner, even though he's still not great.
Mm-hmm.
But once it came out in fights, it was just, it was like, holy crap, it's just death. But even then, it was the Discord strikes just did so much damage. Like, just played it so well.
Yeah,
Throughout the whole game.
Particularly with Bloodlust, it pairs so good because he gets life steal
Mm-hmm.
on his auto attacks with that build, and I believe that stacks with the life steal you get from Bloodlust.
Absolutely does.
And you boost the attack speed, and it
And
turns
the
him into
damage
like
on 16.
it turns him into like a Twin Blades Varian that just does a crap
but
ton of
actually
damage,
has
lives
abilities
forever.
that deal damage.
Exactly, and has CC, and so it definitely worked out really well, and he played it very well. I don't think he got ganked at all in the solo lane.
No.
Which is pretty good across 3 games. So definitely give him some big shout outs. And we changed up a few things. Like in one game we had double mage. I think it was Orphea, Li Ming. That was game 1. That was the game where we just didn't have great wave clear.
Yeah.
And it worked. It worked good for us in team fights. I mean, we were able to kill Li Ming, able to kill Mei, and I believe it was Yrel they had in game 1.
Yep.
I may be missing.
Yeah.
But we were able to blow up that front line, and that's a big tanky front line. But the lack of wave clear got to us, as the game went on, and that game went on late. I mean, that was a 30-minute game, and 30-minute waves are just punishing. The creep scale was more than we could deal with. We needed to shut it out earlier, and we just couldn't quite get that done. They had the poke to keep us away, and they had the push that we had to constantly deal with, and so they played that game 1 very well against the weaknesses of our comp.
All right, and then going into map number 3, you had Battlefield of Eternity. If you don't mind my asking, and without giving too much away, why Battlefield?
We picked Alterac Pass and Battlefield of Eternity because they came first alphabetically.
He told you the sector.
I knew the Alterac Pass one. Battlefield of Eternity, there could have been any other underlying thoughts.
It's A, B, and we also played Cursed Hollow, so we went A, B, C.
That's pretty good.
Sure did. All right, so that answer ended up being a little quicker than I would have expected. The way that I see it, that map played out with exactly one meaningful interaction that happened over and over that game. Did Bandit get caught in Entomb?
Yeah.
That's the whole game in a nutshell. Because when Bandit got caught in an Entomb, they died, and then you lost the rest of the team fight.
And that was the only way they ever killed him.
Everyone else, Streakwing couldn't really get out either, but Streakwing at least was survivable enough to survive long enough to turn a team fight around.
Yeah.
But
and it was always the Entomb followed by the Eternal Feast.
Yep. And
he would just die. And there wasn't really anything we could do about that. Once it happened, it was just, that was it. So towards, later fights, as soon as we identified that's their common strategy, right? Like you'll see this if you go back and watch that game when we were pushing in bot lane on their keep. You'll see me hanging way back, just sort of shadowing that Leo to keep him from coming in on us. Because we identified that was their entire strategy for winning those fights. And it, once we identified that and we started shutting it down, they missed some entombs that weren't, perfect. They entombed me for some reason, and I just jump out. I think that we're getting a little frustrated and maybe a little tired. I mean, it's late, and the first game went half an hour, and so you've been playing for Lord knows how long. And maybe fatigue got to them a little bit, but they didn't have the greatest towards the late game. They didn't have the greatest entombs, or maybe we just identified that was what was happening, and we made adjustments to make it more difficult for them to land that entomb combo on the Vala. I don't know, but that seemed to be their entire game plan, and once we were able to prevent that game plan from happening, all the chips fell into place.
Plus, you guys drafted a very race and poke capable team comp, with the Vala being able to just put out very consistent damage, Li Ming able to put out damage from really far away, and Rhaegar even able to do pretty solid damage.
Don't forget Sledgehammer.
Yeah, sure.
Late game,
Believe me, we were
like
not discounting
damage.
the 1310 at one point. Ace counted it specifically, and so you guys had just better race overall. And anytime that they weren't fighting you, you were just out racing them, forcing them to come into you. And because you had won the early fights, just made it really difficult for ReGen because they have to go back and defend a lane, and you all just race.
Yeah, in game
or
3
go
we
back and
did
clear
to
a
them what
camp
they
and then
did
just
to us in
race.
game 1. You know, in game 1 they had the lane pressure against us and were able to just, you know, posture up on points and get that stuff started, and we turned the tide and did the same thing on game 3. You know, we had the waves pushing on them. They had to deal with the wave, and then, you know, in just a couple seconds we would have the thing at flip-flop. And so they would have to sit there and try and defend, and we had enough poke with the Li Ming, with the Storm Bolt, that, you know, we were able to poke it down. And I think we got 2 full shield immortals that game, off that composition.
Yeah, just about. I think that's about right. Kind of thinking through it.
I know we got 1 full shield, and
Yeah.
the second one, if it wasn't full shield, it was damn close.
Yeah, I remember there being a half shield one, a no shield one, and a full shield one. And the fourth one I don't remember.
Yeah,
So
the no shield one, they
was
won
the
the
end
first
game.
race. Yeah, they got that, and they were able to take a fort off of it, I believe.
I think there are 2 no shield, 1 full shield, and 1 half, if I'm remembering it all correct. But nonetheless, still race good.
Yeah.
So looking ahead to the future, you have 2 matches left in weeks 8 and weeks 9, because no flex matches is very nice. And you're playing against Legal, pretty much undisputed, the top team in your division, and Boogans Forever, one of the 3 teams vying for that 3rd through 4th spot right now with 13 points and 7 games played. So what's your thought process going into those 2 series?
Try and have fun. That's the thought process.
That's fair.
I mean, we're towards the bottom of the standings. There's, you know, we don't have any what's the word I'm looking for? Delusions of grandeur here. You know, we know that we've played Boogans before. They're a good, solid team. We don't really know anything about Legal except, you know, hey, they're at the top of the standings. Well, I've just learned that now. I haven't even looked at the standings, to be honest with you.
The only thing I can tell
just
you
go
is
in,
that
play a good game, and try and have fun.
DB Smiley is on their team, and their logo is a fish with a monocle. That is all the information I have about Legal.
Well, I have to scout them then.
Scouting is pretty good.
All right, that's about it for my questions. Ace, do you got anything else?
No, I don't. Don't have anything further. Everything was covered up, especially with the Game 2 stuff. If you want to see us more gush about an Alarak play, because I am an Alarak player, go for it. Go watch Game 2. It's fun.
Ace keeps saying that he's an Alarak player to make you think he's not a Maiev player.
Hey, hold up. Don't call me out like that. What are you talking about? I'm not a Maiev player. I'm a banned Maiev player.
Yeah, you wish you were a Maiev player. So we're going to give on to you, Alan Hicks, for any shout-outs that you want to give.
All right, well, first, thank you to you guys for casting. It's always a lot of fun when you get casted, especially by, you know, a couple guys who got some experience at it. You know, shout-outs to the rest of my team and to ReGen Ghost. You know, we've played them a few times before. They've taken, you know, scrims and stuff off of us, and I thought they put up a good fight today. We just had a little bit more gas in the tank, I guess.
Gas.
Yeah, Shui, definitely frustrated by your play in the game today, so good job. It's always a nice feeling when you end up frustrating the other team, but it seems he's pretty good spirits about it still.
Yep.
He also says that Legal are the team that used to be Jailbait, but now they're old enough, so they're legal.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
If that's genuinely the thought on the names, then I'd believe it.
Yes,
then
it
that's
is.
Hilarious.
Yeah, that sounds right.
100% it. So.
All right. Well, thank you, Alan, for coming by for this interview.
All right. Thank you. Y'all have a wonderful day.
You as well.
See you
later.
Alrighty, back into the correct lobby, as that's gonna be it for us, and we're gonna get setting up on one of those raids. And you know what, Ace? I'm feeling selfish tonight, so we're not going to raid over an NGS channel. We're going to raid over a friend of mine who just started streaming.
Oh, sounds good. Is this the person I've heard so much about?
It is. Ooh. We're going to raid over someone not playing Heroes of the Storm, which I understand means all of y'all are probably going to leave immediately. But if you stay in long enough to say hi, I'd really appreciate it. It is a Smash streamer named Waddy, currently ranked 20th in the world, started streaming literally 6 days ago. Already hit affiliate and has way more viewers than me, but you know what? We're going to get it going anyway, because I'm a fan.
Yep, well, as I just put in chat, there's Benki, I don't know how to say that exactly, is streaming a Game 3 right now between Once Upon a Time and Cool Cats and Kittens. And then there's another set afterwards, which I believe is Knights That Stay Bronze versus Lightly Salted in the same division. That started 6 minutes ago, so it might be a Game 2 pickup.
Yep, but thank you everyone for coming by. Really appreciate it. We will probably cast another game sometime during next week, but thank you for coming by, and we will see you next time. GG's.
Bye-bye.